Have you ever wondered how you turned out to be such an amazing, well-rounded, stunningly attractive human being, while your brother and/or sister and/or non-binary sibling turned out to be an utter asshole? It turns out tea is the same way. Any type of tea that you can drink. Black tea, white tea, green tea, tea you can drink on a plane, tea you can drink on a train, comes from the exact same plant called Camellia sinensis. And just like the difference between you and your asshole sibling Becky, the reason why tea tastes so different depends on where it was born, how it was raised, and what kind of treatment it got before being released into society. So maybe the reason you turned out so great and Becky still signs the family newsletter with a heart over the eye is because your parents didn't properly oxidize Becky by leaving her in scalding hot water before putting her in the sun to wither. Ah, God damn it, Becky. Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at Russian Caravan, a black tea blend from Frieder Tea. Russian Caravan is traditionally a black tea blend comprising Chinese teas including oolong, kemoon, and lapsang souchong. But David Christopher, if this is a Chinese tea, then why is it called Russian Caravan? Well, that's because Russian Caravan traditionally dates back to the historical Sino-Russian trade route where merchants transported tea by camel. Since this is a black tea blend, I steeped this at 373 degrees Kelvin, or 212 Fahrenheit, at about 3 minutes. First of all, just sniff it. It smells like a children's candy store. Or just a candy store. I'm not a... This is a sweet, mellow tea. I get notes of smokiness, lychee, cherries, and almond. Because if there's one thing I love, it's a tasty nut juice that puts a cherry right in my mouth. Because of all that sweet fruitiness, you don't need to add any honey, you don't need to add any sugar. This is a young, sweet tea that will go all the way perfectly well on its own. The only downside is that it doesn't re-steep too well. You can do it about 2 times, but on the 3rd time it starts to taste like old cherries from a rusty tin can. If you're into that sort of thing, cool. Just not for me. It's a beautiful tea that combines 3 different leaves from one area, which is why for this book tea pairing, I'm pairing Russian Caravan with Kazuo Ishiguru's The Buried Giant. Like Russian Caravan, The Buried Giant combines literary traditions from one area, including the Britons, Anglo-Saxons, and early Romantic English Arthurian legend. Unlike those bodies of literature, however, The Buried Giant isn't filled with the mass slaughter and dismemberment of various oppressed communities and peoples. No, just kidding, it totally is. But it's more mellow, just like this tea. The Buried Giant is a solemn contemplation of the evolution of myth, how our social and personal identities are dictated by flawed memories, and our duty to live in this world with other communities who also struggle with the evolution of their own traditions. Overall, this Russian Caravan is the perfect collusion between 3 Chinese teas that hacks your taste buds to create a perfect echo chamber of bursting cherries and tasty nut juice. It's really Putin in the work. And that is Striptease. As always, don't forget to flash me. Follow, like, subscribe, and hashtag. And because we live in a capitalist hellscape, you can use the code DCH to get a discount off of any tea purchase you make over at Free Your Tea. Capitalism. If your health insurance doesn't cover mental health, buying things is the next best thing. Drink Russian Caravan. Very good tea. Makes you strong. No collusion.